Yeah, this is pretty crazy. And you know what's funny is I heard another story a few months ago about a theater ceiling falling. So this is becoming a trend, and people are going to start getting scared to go to the movies. And let me ask you guys this. Is your local theater, what kind of shape is your local theater? Do you have a theater that's like in your town that's like just really run down? You kind of dread going to it, but it might be the only theater showing the movie that you want to see? Do you guys have a theater like that? Luckily in Orlando, we have freaking a spectrum. We got raggedy looking nasty theaters all the way to pure IMAX theater that's like freaking massive and great seating. We pretty much have a spectrum here. But when I lived in Clovis, New Mexico, not to throw any shade at Clovis, New Mexico, but Jesus, that theater, we had one theater. That town had one theater, one Walmart, a Pizza Hut, and a lot of depression. It was rough living in Clovis, New Mexico. I was stationed there for a couple years, and I could not wait to get out of there. It's just nothing there. You had to go to either Lubbock, Texas, or Amarillo, Texas, to get to any kind of great shopping, I guess, civilization. And we would do that, like on not every weekend, but we would often make that drive, an hour and a half drive each way, to just go to an actual legit mall and to have a little bit of fun. Because Clovis, man, that was a depressing town. But this theater, that they had 6 movies showing, and forget about it. Like, you're only going to get like the top upper crust from the biggest studios. That's all you get. You don't get any kind of independent film. You don't get any kind of special engagements. No way in hell you're going to get an advanced screening of anything. It was brutal. And when you'd go into the theater, the screen had like cardboard, every time I went, cardboard boxes lined up in front of the screen, like just kind of like somebody was using the like under the screen for storage. And it really took you out of the experience. When you go to the movie theater, when those lights go down, all you want to see is that screen, and you want to be immersed into that world. And it was hard to get immersed when you were in Clovis, New Mexico. It was just bad. And I wouldn't be surprised if a ceiling or two have fallen in Clovis. Okay. Ceiling collapses on woman during Final Destination screening. A birthday movie night turned into a real-life horror scene when a chunk of ceiling reportedly collapsed on a woman during a screening of Final Destination Bloodlines. Talk about art imitating life. Fiamma Villaverde, a 29-year-old woman from Berisso, Argentina. So this was not in the States. Visited a local movie theater in La Plata to celebrate her birthday with her 11-year-old daughter and a friend on May 19th. They chose to watch the Final Destination film because the tickets were cheaper than usual. Maybe it was a dollar theater or something. We hadn't planned on going to the movies. It was my birthday. We were out walking and passed by the cinema. Shall we go? And things took a terrifying turn when a piece of the ceiling fell during the screening. Oof, that's rough. Can you imagine that? You go to the theater to have some fun, get away from it all, and then you freaking leave and you gotta go to the hospital. So let me read some of your comments, all right? Let me go back over here to the main, okay. Let me read some of your comments. Let me see what you guys are saying, okay? My local theater is old, but they remodeled it. Scott says, I remember a while back when a roof of a club collapsed during a metal show. I think it was a Morbid Angel show. You are bringing up memories, Scott, because I'm sure a lot of you guys remember back in, I want to say 2003, somewhere. No, I think it was 2001. There was a disastrous fire at a Great White show in I think it was Rhode Island. I want to say Rhode Island, but yeah, and like 100 people died. And you can find videos of it on YouTube, man. It's sad. Even one of the members of Great White died in that fire. But I saw Great White in concert. They opened for Kiss back in the 90s, like in early 90s when I saw them. And so I remember reading that story the morning after, And I was just like, wow, that's just insane. And I guess, they I don't remember if they got approval to use the pyro or not, but I know that there was some back and forth on that. Like it was said that they shouldn't have used the pyro because it was inside. The insulation was way out of code. And yeah, you can find the video of when they start doing the song, and then almost within like freaking 15 seconds, the place just starts erupting into flames. Pretty crazy. And man, if you watch, like, there's documentaries about it, family members talking about the horrific experience. Because another problem was the exits. Like, there was an exit behind the stage where that probably could have saved at least half of the people that died. But from what I hear, like, I guess the managers or something like that, they were telling people, no, do not go this way. And so everybody had to pretty much funnel out this one exit. And of course, they freaking bottlenecked. And the horrific thing was from testimonies of people outside of the club, and they were talking about how they literally had to watch. It's almost like, one of those like meat grinders that, you put your like hamburger meat in and it comes out like shredded on the other side. It was like people were lodged in the doorway and it like a meat grinder, and they were trying profusely to get out, but they couldn't. And so, they all so there were like really like bodies just like hanging out the doorway. Pretty crazy stuff.